How's it going, people? What's going on? KG is back for another video, talking more transfer rumors. Window is set to open on the 14th. Obviously, there's nothing that we know of that's incoming that's been confirmed on our end, but obviously, outwards, rumors away, they're all coming for us at the moment in time. And Charlie Cresswell is the subject of the latest rumors, so we'll talk about that. Also, want to talk about an idea on how to move on Bamford. I'm not gonna let this one go quietly. I think we do need to come up with ideas. And I got another one, yet another one. Always got another one. But listen, before we get into it, people, you know the drill. Hit a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, drop your comments below. Thank you to all existing members, and thank you to a new member. I didn't write your name down. I apologize, but much appreciated for the support. So if you want to support me in the channel, please click the link in the description, and it goes a long way. Allison here. Charlie proved at Millwall he's an asset to the league. Plus, he's actually good on set pieces. Yep, he'll flourish for another manager. I agree, Allison. But look, hope everyone's doing well. I didn't think that we'd be coming back today. I thought maybe it would be tomorrow. But yeah, I think that there's substance behind the rumors. I think I don't talk about every single rumor, but I think it's fairly obvious as to why Charlie Cresswell's been linked with moves away. Now, listen, it's a long cry from, and shout out to everyone that replies back on IG when I post up a little something on my FIFA. As you know, my front three right now is Vinny Jr., Jonathan David, and Michael Elise. It's not too bad, is it? It's not too bad. And Pep's the manager. But I guess we got to come back to reality and talk about this. And Richard, Cooper over Cresswell, are we having a laugh? And this is the thing, Richard. Look, the last video, and shout out to everyone that interacted on the last video, big thoughts and opinions given on that one. And usually I always think with those videos, it always attracts the people that only turn up when there's pretty much bad news. But I couldn't disagree with them. I couldn't disagree with anything that anyone was saying in those regards, because it's a bad start. Under the 49ers, this is their first year, and their intentions so far. Listen, we won't know any of the incomings as of yet. They'll probably come out of the blue as they've done previous under them. That's not what I'm saying. But the retain list for me was something where we start a new era. I was ready to give the whole Cooper this era of captaincy, the mediocre era, the bare minimum era. But we're still in it because they're offering him a deal now. As of this date, he hasn't signed the deal. Neither has Jamie Shackleton. But I thought we was going to get rid of all of that stuff and start afresh, move the club forward. And it just seems like maybe just a little grip of the old regime has got him. Maybe the fan base have caught him around town and they've said, don't let Captain Coops leave. He's lifeblood of the club, all that stuff. And maybe it's got to him. I don't know. But I thought we was going to have a clean break, move on from these players, get players in that can actually play. And even with some of the comments as well, I'm not going to bring the comment up because I don't want to actually embarrass the person. But when someone said about Shackleton, they were actually defending Shackleton, but they couldn't give any specific thing. Shall I read it? Let me read it. I'm not going to get the name up because it's unfair to the person. Let me just get this up. And this goes to the point I'm trying to make in regards to Shackleton. Right, let me get this up. I'm not going to put it on screen, people. Okay. Is Shackleton really that bad of a player? I know he gets injured, etc., and could be more potent whenever he plays, but doesn't he do whatever his job is required to do well enough? I'm not saying he should be regularly in the squad, no way, but he is. But isn't he good enough to be the utility player that he is? He's not bad to be used just for that role. That kind of sums up Jamie Shackleton, and that is somebody defending Jamie Shackleton. I always try and give it to you from a different angle, and I say to you, if we had let go of Liam Cooper and Jamie Shackleton rocks up at newly relegated Birmingham City in League One, would anyone be going, whoa, I can't believe Shackleton's gone to League One? That has shocked me. That's taken me by surprise. I doubt it. If Liam Cooper rocks up at a lower end championship club stroke League One club, would anyone think that that's out of the realm of possibility? Or would you be thinking, oh, I'm surprised Newcastle haven't tried to get him? No, you wouldn't. And that's where I try and look at it. If they're not good enough for other clubs in this division, then why are we keeping them on? So yeah, for me, it's a bad start. And I say I always go with the evidence that's presented. And that is the first bit of evidence that's been presented, which is the retain list. Obviously, now that has no bearing on the incomings that come in, which I fully expect to be people that will be expected to play for 40 games of the 46, not like Liam Cooper and Jamie Shackleton, who will probably be around for, and I'm being generous here, 10 games at best. You know, everyone always talks about Jamie Shackleton, he's a utility player. That's great, but he's never available. Never available. So for me, it's a bad start for the summer, but it doesn't mean it has to go on like that. But we're talking about um another decision, but this is more manager based. This is from Alan Nixon. I know he's a bit hit and miss, but there's no smoke without fire for me when it comes to Charlie Cresswell. So let's get into it, people. Toulouse, Hanover 96, and Hertha Berlin want Leeds United defender Charlie Cresswell. I'll try and go through this, but it's riddled with ads. So if I can't go through it, I'll just click off it and give you the main bits. Reporting from his Patreon, journalist Alan Nixon has revealed that French League earned side Toulouse, as well as German second division outfits Hanover 96 and Hertha Berlin, are all lined up summer moves for Cresswell. Nixon states that the Whites defender is heading out the exit door after enduring a frustrating season at Elland Road last time out. The reports that Leeds will command a fee of 3 million plus extras for the young Englishman as the club continue to search for opportunities to raise funds ahead of a busy few weeks at the club. Yeah, I'm gonna get into his numbers in a bit. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, that's it. And he just goes on for his opinion piece. Selling Charlie Cresswell could be a big Leeds United regret. Now, look, in terms of the Charlie Cresswell thing, I think everyone expects Charlie to go, and that's just purely because of the relationship with him and the manager. And look, keeping Cooper and selling Cresswell, oh, that's backwards as hell to me. Like it doesn't make any sense. But what does make sense, and then you have to look at it from this angle, is Daniel Farke don't like him. And no matter if the player's talented or not, we've seen it with bigger players than Charlie Cresswell at different clubs, where no matter the talent, if the manager doesn't fancy them, they're gone. I mean, hey, listen, look at what's his name? Ten Hag and Cristiano Ronaldo. You know, Ronaldo comes out with an interview. Ten Hag doesn't like it, he's gone. Sancho the same. You know, no apology, he's gone. You know, these things happen no matter the talent level or what you think they can do for you at a certain level. If the manager doesn't fancy him and the club is invested in the manager, which as is clearly invested in Farke, there's only going to be one winner, and that's Daniel Farke. And so Charlie Cresswell's future here, it doesn't exist. So the only thing for me is the 3 million. I know it says add-on, so you'd hope it takes it up to, you know, maybe 5 or something, maybe a release clause or something, but it is very low for the potential that we're selling here. It is, you know, I just find it hard to believe, people. And again, put it to you another way: if another club had an England under 21 centre back, and you've got to put on that English tax, people, they wouldn't be selling him for 3 million. No way. No way he's going for 3 million for another club. It just wouldn't happen. But obviously, this is something that does need to be resolved. And Charlie has got no future here now. I go to his numbers, man, and never mind his numbers. I'm talking about his matches played. He got 5 games in total, and that will be including substitute appearances. He got 5 games. Now, Jared here is saying, why would you move to a second league in another country? Or why stay in this one when you're not getting played, Jared? Why stay here if you're not getting played in this second tier of the English league? What is it special? Is it special? Is it more special than League Two? League Two? I don't think so. You know, it's one of those things now where I think that the relationship is just that fractured, that a clean break is best for everyone. Now, Jared is saying there, he's been linked with a move back to Millwall. I know Millwall fans would absolutely love to have him back, but do they have the money to get him? Chances are probably not. So it's all about who can give the money and who's got the asking price, what we are asking for. Yeah, Slice Bread Ed here is saying 3 million for an English centre back under 23 years old is pennies. It is. Jarvis here saying must not be good enough. Sell him and get someone in Farker's likes. Well, look, this has been my thing, Jarvis. Whether he's good enough or not, that's irrelevant at this point. It's about who Farker trusts, whether we like it or not. And listen, there was someone that made a comment before. Oh man, and he was on a live stream, but he said, "Why don't we loan out Charlie Cresswell? And when it all eventually goes, you know, tits up with Farke during the season, he can come back and the new manager will play him. And I get that point. I just think that the 49ers are fully invested in Daniel Farke. So, and I think Charlie and his dad at this point just want to go. I do believe that as well. Um, but yeah, it is important now that we recruit people that Daniel Farke will use. Look at that. We had a centre back crisis at the end of the season. We needed him back in there. He didn't even play. Didn't even get on the pitch, people. So, oh, Jarvis saying not good enough for the Farker system. No, yeah, in terms of ball playing, Jarvis, maybe he's not the greatest with the ball at his feet, granted, but could that be worked on? I don't know, but I think it's more to do with all the stuff that happened off the pitch, whether it was his dad coming out and saying that he should be played more, whether it was Daniel Farker firing back saying he's not training well enough and his attitude needs to be better, which I always hate to hear. But yeah, I think it's just done, man. I think it's just done. Um, Jared here saying Cresswell could start for half the championship teams. Yeah, he could, and he will have interest, but can they afford him? That's the thing. Keith here saying I'm not passionate about him, but we aren't going to get a replacement for him for 3 million. I think we can. I think we can get some kind of defender for him. It probably won't be a first teamer like the first choice, but I think you can get squaddy for that. And that was the other thing as well. I mean, listen, Liam Cooper's got his backers, but people saying I can't even remember the kind of it's so stupid. If you don't want players that are happy to sit on the bench, but then you want to bring in a centre back who's happy to sit on the bench and move out Cooper, who's already happy to do that here. It's two completely separate things. People, I know this is a crazy thing for Leeds United fans to know, but there's competition for places. Like when you sign a player, sometimes outright they are the first choice, 100%. But in other ways, you say to a player, look, I'm signing you, but you're going to be fighting for a place. That happens more often than a guaranteed start, because we know what happens if you guarantee someone starts and they don't start. It can turn ugly. So that's all I ask. I ask that they get in players who they actually trust. And Liam Cooper is not one of those either, because he didn't trust him. He didn't trust him after that Watford game until we were 4-0 up against Norwich with like 8 minutes to go, where he can't get in any trouble. And these aren't opinions; these are facts, because the game time tells you that. But this is the thing with Charlie as well. What I just wanted to point out, his Millwall stint, which is not even 3 years ago, it's probably 2 years ago now. Last season, 28 matches, 4 goals and 2 assists. Wow. There's some forwards that would like those numbers. Some bad forwards out there that would love those numbers. And you're not even talking long ago, and those were mainly from set piece threats, something that we've lacked. It's going to be a shame to let him go. I know the comparison is Leif Davis. I don't know. I think Charlie's ceiling may be a little bit higher than Leaf. We shall see, but I don't think it's going to be here at Elland Road, people. Richard here saying the lad was unlucky last season as Roden was never injured or suspended. To be fair, well, Richard, I mean, this is it. You're talking about Roden did get suspended. Remember, Richard, and he got benched. Remember that for the Southampton game at St Mary's in early part of the season. But no, Richard, it's not about that. It's about moving Ampadu back into midfield and making our defense a little bit more sturdy, making our midfield a bit more, having a more progressive passer in the midfield like Ampadu, who can break up the play and pass it around a bit. So this is the problem, Richard. It's not about anyone going out injured or suspended. It was about changing the system and using players that he would have trusted. We should have easily had Ampadu back in midfield, Cresswell, Roden at the back, and we would have been in much better shape. That's my opinion. Obviously, we don't know. Hindsight's, what is it? Hypothetical. But we did need that kind of change. Yeah, we do need 3 centre backs. We do, and that's what I'm saying. People talking about you can't get someone just for the bench. No, you get people for competition for places. That's how it works in football. You know what I mean? But hey, listen, I'm talking just generally. Those kind of comments always get me. But yeah, look at that from Charlie, and that is from a couple of years ago. But yeah, we shall see where this goes. I expect some championship clubs to come in as well if they can afford the fee. Let's just take a look. Um, yeah, Gavin, the fact he never even tried that with 20 games to go was criminal by Farke. Yeah, that's the thing with Farke. We all know this though. He's stubborn, he's tactically inflexible as well. And although I get his point of view from the fact that Rodon and Ampadu was working amazingly well during that winning run, it fell away and it was collapsing fast. You know, Ampadu needed to move back in midfield, and we literally had two centre backs there. I wouldn't have used Cooper, and the Watford game tells me everything I need to know. But you could have used Charlie. Charlie was just there on the bench just chilling. And I remember seeing some of the shots where you see Charlie on the bench. He doesn't even look like he needs to warm up because he knows he ain't going to play. And that's what we need to avoid this coming season. So hopefully Farker's looked within and he realizes some of the mistakes he's made. Look, proof will be in the pudding, people. We don't know at this point. We don't know. Um, but yeah. So yeah, let's move on from that. I don't want to go too long today. Don't want to go too long. Gordon here. Good afternoon, KG. We need to assemble a good squad with depth this season. We do, yeah, we absolutely do. I mean, some would say we did last season, but it just didn't get used. But no point going over that. But look, here we are. I just want to go on to Patrick Bamford because it's important to keep this, to keep this going because for me, Patrick Bamford, and listen, somebody, I think it was a new person that came onto to my channel and left a comment. They've gone now. You know me. Listen, I've got very short rope when it comes to certain people. When I say things, they just leave, and I've got very short rope when I read certain things. I don't want to read them. I don't care to read them. And literally, all he did was copy and paste what Phil Hay said when Bamford finally scored a goal after a big drought. And Phil Hay and all those journals, the local ones especially, always do it when it comes to Bamford. Oh, never seen a player this maligned. People love him when he's scoring. People don't like it when he doesn't. Load of rubbish, absolute load of rubbish. But this guy here basically copied and pasted what Phil Hayes said. So he's never going to add anything good to the discussion. So, he has now been exiled. But what it is for me with Patrick Bamford, he needs to go for the sake of Leeds United fans in general, so that they don't keep thinking that he is a solution, because he's not. And at this point with Patrick Bamford, it's about addition by subtraction. I think we get more out of Mateo Joseph. I think we get a much more relaxed Joel Peru, knowing that even if he has 2-3 quiet games, he's not just going to get replaced by Patrick Bamford, who then can have 10 quiet games and still play. I think it's time for him to go. And it also means that the fans don't have the crutch of Bamford. And I'm only using this example here in terms of Ndombele from Spurs. Now, the difference with Ndombele, he's only got a year left, so that makes it a lot easier for Tottenham to sever ties this month and come up with a mutual agreement to let him go. So I don't think that's going to be an option for Leeds to say, listen, you've got 2 years left. Can we settle up? I think it's probably a year too soon. Maybe, please don't be here next summer. No, seriously, please don't be here next summer. I'm just saying, if he is here next summer, then maybe they can visit it then. But I'm thinking now, if for whatever reason there is no buyers or anyone that can afford him, why not send him out on loan? The Fulham whispers won't go away. For some reason, Fulham want him. Listen, just because you're a Premier League club doesn't mean you're scouting and everything is all good. I don't care though. If Fulham feel that he's a good replacement for Brozier, who's going back to Chelsea and going elsewhere, I'm more than happy to see you go. And at this stage, it is about addition by subtraction. He needs to go. He absolutely needs to go. Look, even him talking. I mean, I didn't even hear him talk. I just read a few of the highlights that keep popping up on the FU and on the 4U page, talking about the playoff final. Guys, he was talking about the playoff final like he was me or you. He was talking about it like he was just a fan watching it, not like he could have actually been involved and been a big part of why we get promoted or anything like that. He was talking like he was just a regular podcaster. That's how the words read to me. I didn't hear the inflection, so forgive me on that. I'm not going to watch it either, so don't tell me to go there. There's just no future for this guy here at this football club. I cannot believe in 2024 I've still got to come up with solutions to get this guy away from the football club. I just can't believe it. And so the 49ers, they've got work to do with this. As I said to you before, I've tired of going over it. There are ways to move off. is money from the wage books, from the books to take another club, whether he gets a payoff, lower transfer fee for Leeds. Leeds give him a little money to help top up his wages at his new football club. There were ways of doing it. Now he has to have the willingness to move as well, which is a big thing. He's 30, he's 30 now, going to be 31. When is he going to be 31? Oh, it's right here. It's right here. He's going to be 31 in September, man. Jesus Christ. Yeah, listen. And I'm putting this here just for people and all the hold up merchants. Anyway, listen, I don't mind if you comment if you talk about his hold up play, because that's how I know to just remove you. So if you want to die on that hill, you will go, honestly. Because if you're defending Patrick Bamford, we honestly have nothing to talk about. Seriously, yeah. No offense to you. Your ball knowledge is where it is, but I'm not having this anymore. The joke is gone on too long. So what about alone? What about alone, people? If you can't get him out on a permanent, stick him out on a loan if he's willing to move, which is the key thing here. Yeah, Ed, we've got to take a look advantage of the low market. We will, I'm sure we will. Nige here saying we can't be starting the 24-25 season with Bamford starting as our number 9. If he is, it's negligence by the 49ers, 100%. And it was every time I did give a transfer window rating. It always is. As long as he's here, it's a negligence. Now, the only way I won't mark it down is if we do hear actively that he's been shopped around. And the only way you'll probably hear that is from the clubs that we're trying to ship him to side. You know, the journalists on no side, because we're probably not going to hear it from our side because the 49ers don't work like that. So I want to see the local journals in other areas talk about Bamford as being offered to this club. If they've done that, that changes it for me, because at least you've tried to do it. It's the onus is then on Bamford to leave. And I'll say this, I'll always defend him in this way. I wouldn't blame him for staying for the next 2 years. I wouldn't. Why would he? He barely plays anyway. He's adored by a majority of this fan base for whatever reason. So why would he leave? I'm sure he's very comfortable, very settled. Why would he go unless he really has a thirst to play football, hunger to play football? Keith saying my blood boils when I see him in the lineup or talking himself up. Yeah. Like I say, Keith, I don't listen to his podcast. It's not for me. But yeah, look, it's just frustrating to me, Keith, and the rope that this guy gets, it's just too much. That's why he needs to go to save these fans from themselves. Now, whether it's because people, whenever they think of him hugging Bielsa and they can't let that go. They want to talk about this 17 goals in the Prem. It's funny how they always mention that, by the way, the 17 goals, but then they don't mention the injury-ravaged season in 21-22 where he gets 2 in 9, and then 22-23 where he gets 4 in 28. And let's not even go into some of the misses that he had during that season and the penalties he took off Rodrigo. Hey, let's not even go into it, people. Let's not go into it. Yeah, Tom, we like to keep the bar low here at Leeds by keeping certain players sad. Yeah, that's what the retain list felt like to me, Tom. But look, if the 49ers and Red Bull and everyone else come into it, and then we get some absolutely brilliant signings, and these guys are just fringe players, although they shouldn't be here, and I want to make that clear, then cool. At this point, cool. But if they don't recruit properly and we have major gaps in areas where we've had gaps for years, then it has to be questioned. It has to. It has to be questioned. You cannot go into it again and say that we've got a makeshift left back. We can put Archie Gray back at right back again. If he's still here, by the way. No way. Ryan here saying, I'd be amazed if someone takes a gamble on him. He's going to run his contract down, isn't he? Yeah. No, Ryan, I believe that. Look, I'll say it till I'm blue in the face, even though I can't go blue in the face. But you get the point, people. There are suitors for everybody. There's bad players that have been moved that are worse than Bamford through history. So there will be suitors. It's the willingness for him to leave. Because by all means, when you listen to him talk or read his words, he sounds very comfortable and content here. And that's dangerous. That's very dangerous. So look, that's my suggestion. I don't think we're going to buy him out with 2 years left. I think it's too expensive to do. If someone doesn't come in for it with a transfer fee, loan him out. Just get him off the books. Don't put a recall clause in there either, because I can see that happening in January. Peru goes 2 games without scoring a goal. We need to get Bamford back off loan. He'd hold the ball up. No, enough. Enough is enough. Tom here saying, surely we can afford approximately 2.5 to pay off Bamford's contract. Ooh, I mean, that's, you know what, in the Premier League, Tom, that's probably pittance, isn't it? Is that how much it would probably be? 2.5. That doesn't sound a lot, does it? But I think it's probably too much. What is that? If we're working on the base of, because maths, hey boy, me and maths ain't friends. If we're working on the base of 35,000 a week for the next 2 years, is that around 2.5? I don't know. Jack trying to go with this old school thing. Jack here, if you refuse to play him for the next 2 years, you can kill his future prospects. Put pressure on him. Oh boy, Jack. You know, listen, you know the whole sticking him in the reserves and letting him rot. It's old, man. Don't work. And listen, Jack, I'll ask you, do you think that he'd actually care? Does he come across as the kind of person that would actually care about staying in reserves while he's getting his money for the next 2 years? I don't think he cares. He goes missing for the most parts when important games come up. Why not just go in the reserves for a couple years? I don't think he'd care, Jack. I honestly don't. But yeah, it's mad. There's just so many things with this guy, man. Like, you know, when we last survived, and he had his agent that needed to speak with Jesse Marshall about playing, and he still didn't play. It was that goodbye message. It was that thank you message for the season. There was like 1 or 2 lines about I'm glad we stayed up, and then there was like a whole paragraph about his lightning shoes. Jesus. No, I'm telling you, no player. I'm telling you, if that was Crescencio or someone like that did that. Oh, I'm glad we stayed up. But oi, guys, do you want to invest in my shoes? He'd be ripped to pieces. But when it's Pat, it's cool. He's got too much equity with this fan base, and it's dangerous. It's too dangerous. Too dangerous. Okay, we've got 2 different numbers here. Tom saying 3.1. Ed is going for 3.6. So yeah, we're going around those numbers, but yeah. No, Isaac, it's not 70,000. It was 70 in the Prem, but I think it's kind of halved. I think it is down to like 35, maybe 40, but it's not 70 in the Championship. But yeah, so there's my idea, and I'm gonna keep on bringing it up as long as I don't hear rumors. I'm gonna keep on bringing it up. So you know, you got to speak things into existence sometimes. You do. You have to speak things into existence. This is something I've been speaking to existence for about 3-4 years now. Feels like a lifetime. I feel like it, I said to you, I feel like you're gonna wheel him out on a wheelchair one time on the pitch. He's gonna be 50, and there'll still be fans saying, "Look how well he held the ball up." You know what I mean? I think it's too much, man. Ryan here saying, I know I joke with you about Bamford KG. Yeah, you do, Ryan. But I'm genuinely amazed he's still on the books. It's insane, Ryan. I went past the point of anger, not anger, because I can't get angry about it, but just annoyance. But it's more just like, why at this point? It's more of a, we're literally in 2024. Like, we're not in 2018 no more. Like, why is he still here? Why? This isn't Vinny Jr. here. This isn't like a world-class player where you just keep them on because they're just that good. Look at his number. The guy's been mid. And I mean, no, that's being harsh to mid people. He's terrible. But yeah. 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 But yeah. So yeah, I'm sure I'm still gonna get loads of comments after talking about his wages and but yeah, listen, loan, always a way. There's always a way, people, always a way. But that is it. I'm gonna leave it there, people. I didn't want to go too long today. We'll see what happens with Charlie Cresswell, see if there's any more whispers. Listen, the transfer window opens on the 14th. Hey, listen, we've got to expect bodies in. There's going to be bodies out. It's going to be interesting next week, see what else comes up. But yeah, listen, until the next one, people, like the video before you go. I'll see you in the next one, people. Peace out.